Live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going over Beoulve's defense. It is an incredibly challenging name to pronounce, but I got to it. I think. I don't know. He'll let me know in the comments if I'm screwing it up. Speaking of which, if you ever see me do any mistakes, you can go ahead and leave comments. I do read through those, and I try to provide the best, quality content I can for you people. We really do kind of focus on the mid game and giving people the best value out of their roster, and we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using to place on their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. And while you're down there by the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you like what I'm doing, and I will continue to make these videos for you guys. Team number 1 is a Wave 1 kind of hybrid thing. Now, what we used to do is we used to take and put, hold on, this music is way too loud, isn't it? Let's bring that down just a touch. There we go. We used to replace Thor with Coulson and put Thor on that Asgardian defense. But now that Asgardian defense is kind of trash because of the liabilities with Greg and all that and the speed meta stuff. So the synergy with Coulson and this team isn't really there. All he's got is the synergy with Captain America boosting his health. I don't think he really does anything else. It's those SHIELD members, which was Hawkeye and Black Widow, which you have replaced with Coulson and Heimdall. Now, Heimdall, in my opinion, is a pretty good pick to replace some of those characters, but I think you should bring back Hawkeye instead of Coulson. I think there's better places to use 104k Coulson. This isn't a bad spot for it. I just think there's better stuff you could be doing with this team. As far as the rest of the ISOs, I like Thor as a Raider, but you have 2 Raiders and Thor as a Striker, so it works on this particular build. I won't dock you for it. But if you do switch out another player, maybe think about doing like a Striker and changing Thor to a Raider. You're gonna get more value out of that crit damage than that. So basically, I don't like who you're using. Placement is fine. ISOs on this build is fine. So I'm just gonna go B+ on this. It's kind of meh. All right, we have a hero brawler build. I do believe Black Bolt is a, I need to put this away. I'm fiddling with my paper. Black Bolt is a blaster, I believe, so he's not going to benefit from that, but he does have the synergy with Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's a protector, not a brawler, so there's no synergy there either. You have Squirrel Girl as a healer. That's okay. Prominence just subscribed. Thank you, Prominence. Appreciate that. We have Captain Marvel in there. She is a brawler, even though she shoots things out of her fists. But whatever. This is okay. This is okay. I kind of like the Inhuman hybrid that is so standard. There's a reason people still use it. It's because it's just a solid defense, and you might be better off with that. Although these young Avenger characters are really good. I do kind of like them. You're just not getting as much value out of Miss Marvel with only 1 striker going off of her assist mechanic. I don't know, maybe you don't have the T4 in that anyway, and so she's not assisting all the time anyway, so this is just a filler team. It's okay. The good news is that people see these young Avenger characters and they get a little scared and they might overdo it with this team, and you might be able to draw in some big teams, but I don't see you getting many defensive victories with this. I think you should use different people here on the outsides. I think you should think about changing Squirrel Girl to a striker if you have the T4 in Ms. Marvel, and make sure whoever you replace here are either young Avengers or at least hero brawlers to get some extra added value out of them. As for this team, I'm gonna go B- on it. Not really doing anything wrong. It's just not, again, the right people you should be using. Oh boy. This Marauder team is just old and busted, isn't it? Right? Like, just what a waste. I just don't like this team anymore. It's just, Sinister just doesn't really have a great place to go anymore. I did see him being used with like an aim version the other day on a big defense. It was kind of weird. Didn't really play out well though. I saw the team get beat pretty easy. Anyways, so Strife does not, he needs villain mutants to get that speed up on spawn or turn meter or whatever, so he'll create the taunt real fast. So he's kind of debilitated here. I think Mystique is a really terrible character. I think you probably overinvested in her, although you got the right ISO going. And then Doc Ock and Ghost, they're okay as plug and play characters, but just on this team, there's not a lot of value. There's not a lot of synergy going on here. You've got Deflex going to Strife and Mystique. Mystique's gonna give them to Sinister. Sinister's gonna spread them back to the team. Strife can use those Deflex pretty well. It's not bad. I just think that there are better hybrids out there. Like, I'd like you to take and replace this 3-piece in the core with something like Magneto, Toad, and Blob. you'd get a lot, it'd be a lot more scary team, in my opinion, than this. You have 2 strikers, 1 skirmisher, so not a lot of double taps going on there. You might consider maybe, God, yeah, none of these characters are worth changing their ISOs. These are the right native ISOs. I mean, I don't like Strife as a striker. I do like him as a fortifier better. He has barrier built into his kit and he uses it really well, so giving him extra barrier and more barrier on turn makes him that much tougher to get through. So let's change the ISOs. Let's change who you're using again. It's not a terrible team. I actually really don't like that ISO on there. I do like the barrier, the fortifier ISO much better. So I'm going to go B- on this team. Let's go with number 4. It's the Web Warriors. You went Raider and then Striker on Miles and Skirmisher on OG Spider-Man. No problems here. I prefer a slightly different placement, but it's arguable whether that's even better. Putting them to the outside is something to do. I like them in the wing position here, off the shoulders of Miles. That way, if they die, there's gap placement with the 3 remaining people, because those are your 2 primary targets. Keeping him to the outside works well, though, also, so I'm just going to give you an A for the team. Pretty good. Heroes for hire, we see this all the time. There's not much wrong with it. Arguably, you could change Iron Fist next to Luke Cage on this one. The ISOs you're using is fine. I'm going to give you an A for it. It's pretty good. Team number 6 is the Mercs with Doom. Doom Mercs is a formidable team. It's pretty scary. There's few counters to this that work really well and are reliable. And a lot of them are counters that you want to be using elsewhere. This is probably gonna get a little bit more value these days with the way things are shifting with Dark Hunters and the Young Avengers and stuff. So it's really good. I like the ISOs you're using. I like the placement you've got going on here. Yeah, I think this is great. You could probably bring your Merc minions up to gear tier 14 if you wanted to get serious about this defense, but remember, they aren't being used anywhere else in the game, so that's kind of a choice to you. But characters scale a lot better going from 13 to 14 than they do from 12 to 13. I'm going to go ahead and give you an A for this team. You could change Doom to a Raider. I just did that. I'm happy with that change. It's fine keeping him as a striker. Team number 7. Okay, so this is a Red Skull Cersei Chavez team, and this is a great team. I do like the Red Skull Cersei being adjacent to Chavez. Cersei rewinds the turn meter, giving Icarus enough time to go. Cersei's gonna go first, softening people up. Red Skull has that opening maneuver that gives 30% turn meter to the rest of the team. The only thing I don't like here is you have Loki thrown in it, and there's no reason for that. Cersei's already going first. Speeding her up more doesn't matter. She's already going to go before anybody else in the game. So change Loki to somebody who has more value. If you're not using your Black Order, you could throw Thanos in here and then change the placement so that he's, you know, adjacent to like Icarus or something and get a little bit more value out of the team. I don't think that's actually going to work with this placement. You might have to move Icarus. You'd probably have to swap places with Icarus and Red Skull. And then you'd want Loki in here. So yeah, don't worry about Thanos on this build. Not unless you're gonna go to a completely different version. But somebody else other than Loki, he's not adding any value. He's maybe applying a defense down to somebody, you know? So I don't think Loki's doing you any good here. Otherwise, I think it's fantastic. Otherwise, I like everything you're doing here. The ISOs are great. Fortifier or a healer isn't my favorite pick on Red Skull, but who cares? That's not what he's there for. He's there to increase turn meter, just like Chavez is there to just to increase the turn meter. So it is kind of a one-shot, 1 DV team, but it should net you a victory at the war level you're applying. Just change out Loki, and I'll give you an A. As for now, it's a B. It's just a waste of 1 character. Hey, we have a special amendment to team number 7. After I recorded that video, we found out by discussing in chat, thank you, Zero, Loki is in on this team to help adjust for a niche counter, which is the Zimo factor. Zimo has a speed just slightly ahead of Cersei, even paired with Chavez, and he's able to ability block and slow people and give Zimo factor the edge. So there is a very good case to be putting Loki in on this team. Yeah, so that's a thing to do. I did not know that. I was unaware, and that's why you should definitely come hang out in my streams, and you can complain to me, and I'll give you credit for that. That was from Zero filling us in on that little niche maneuver. So learn something every day. Anyway, back to the video. Thanks, guys. All right, it's the new Warriors with Emma and Surfer. This is a very popular defense. We see a lot of people at the high end using this defense because it works. It's very challenging. One of the best counters is a Shadowlands team, and who the heck is building Shadowlands to 950? Because the Shadowlands counter is a punch across. It's pretty tough. So all the other, and any other counter is basically taking away from other popular things you're going to be using it for. So this is a great defense. A lot of people who don't know might say, hey, Seven, he's got 3 strikers and only 1 skirmisher. This is actually, it plays out because of the way that Cloak and Dagger's kits work, applying vulnerables out of their kit instead of their ISO. This kind of works like having 3 skirmishers or 3 people applying vulnerables and 3 strikers soaking them up, plus a healer on the field also. So it's really cool that it works like that. It's a really good way to do it. Alternatively, you could change Surfer to a Raider, but there's no need to on this team. He's gonna work just fine as a striker with all the valuables you're putting out there. A for that, good job. Team number 9 is the Astonishing XMen. Nothing unusual going on here. I run Jubilee as a striker also. I have a lot of luck with it. I do agree that there is a lot of value making her a level 5 skirmisher, but there's no need to do that. And then you have Beast as a healer on defense. Putting Beast as a healer is probably the better move. Anywhere else, I recommend going Skirmisher on him for clearing positive effects, for assisting in the raids and all that stuff. But on defense, this is a great way to set it up. It's a good variety of assists and counterattacks and heals and stuff like that. A for that, good job. And team number 10 is the Secret Avengers. You replace Fury with Zimo. I think this is actually kind of... I don't like Zimo on this team for defense, maybe for offense on a specific counter, but I think Zimo has a lot better value being used elsewhere. As we see the Young Avengers coming online more and more in war, you're going to want to have Zimo available with your X Factor team, and having him on defense is a bad place to use him. He's just a great offensive character. He has a great tool set to do a lot of important things when you're attacking in war. I can't remember if Beoulve is in a defense down adjacent room, but if he is, that would be proccing Kestrel and doing some damage there. That's good. Plus creating a little bit of an RNG factor and debilitating the other team by removing their positive effects that they might have on spawn. So it is a powerful character to have on defense. I just think there are better choices, like maybe throwing in Coulson here for this pretty much the same effect, other than not applying an ability block. The other things you could do is maybe put in like a Namor or something, but I don't know. There's other stuff you can do in there. Just don't put Fury in there, and Zimo is a good pick. So I'm gonna say A- just because I'd like to see you use Zimo on offense. Okay, this has been Beoulve's Defense Up video. If you'd like your defense featured on Defense Up, links are in the description. Just find me on my Discord, message me some 3 screenshots of your defenses, and I will put you on the list. The list is kind of long, so be sure to message me soon. And we're going to be trying to do more of these and have some Saturday videos coming out to try and get that list chewed through. Remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too, and I will catch you next time. Bye.